The unit circle is a standard position circle with the radius 1. Now, the unit circle is useful to us in two different ways. Firstly, if we have a radius 1, notice that we have a triangle with hypotenuse of 1. And what we can do is we can just use this triangle and scale this triangle to any size we want. And we're just basically scaling the horizontal and vertical sides along with it, which makes it rather useful. So that's one reason it's useful for us in terms of circle trig. We can just scale a unit 1 radius very easily. The other reason is much more important as we get further into pre-calc 12 and calculus, because the unit circle allows us to also use the ratio cosine and sine as a length. So in this circle, the line of sine, this vertical line here, the length of that line is the exact same length as the actual sine value. And so we can use that as a coordinate here. The same can be said for cosine. Okay, this cosine is this actual length in the circle. Okay, it's not just the ratio, it's now a length. And we can use that as the x positioning in that circle. So it's convenient because it allows us to simplify many calculations. So again, we can use this as just a unit circle to be able to scale easily, but also we can use the units when we are using the unit circle, we can now use the sine and cos values as a length. And so it can be shown in this particular red triangle here, and our Pythagorean relationship shows up in this right triangle. We can state this as sine squared plus cos squared equals 1. And this is an identity because no matter where we draw this red triangle, this Pythagorean relationship is true. The horizontal length, which is cos squared, plus the vertical length, which is sine squared, is always going to be equal to the radius of this circle. And if it's a unit circle, it's equal to 1. So how do we apply this unit circle? Well, if we take a look at the unit circle here, we have a unit circle, and we're going to find the angle 1.4. So angle 1.4 is maybe right about here. Okay, I can draw my triangle here. My angle here is 1.4. And what I can do is this point P is now defined on that unit circle with radius 1. Now, if it's radius 1, what that means is the coordinate here at P is just going to be the cosine value at 1.4, and let's make that a little bit neater looking. It'll be the cosine value for the angle 1.4 and the sine value for the angle 1.4. Okay, so if I actually type this into my calculator, if I do cosine 1.4, I get that length is 0.169, so 99, so I'm going to round that to 0.7170. So this horizontal length is 0.170, and then the vertical length, which I'll do in a different color here, the vertical length, which is that length there, is just going to be the sine value. So sine of 1.4 is equal to 0.985. I'll just color code that. So the sine value was sine of 1.4 radians. So what I've then done is I'm now using the sine and cosine ratios as actual lengths in a triangle. And when we have a unit circle, we can just say that the cosine of the unit circle, or cosine value, is the x coordinate of the unit circle. The sine value is the y coordinate in a unit circle.